Good morning, kids. Today I'm going to show you the steps for long division. And this is actually found on today's section of the website under Monday. You'll see down here at the bottom it says long division handout. If you click on that, download file. Now, this is in Microsoft Word. So if you have Microsoft Word, you're in good shape. If not, it may look slightly different. I'm going to go through this with you, though, so that you see it anyhow. And click on long division. And you'll see a slide show like this. It's actually one equation worked out step by step. We're going to go through that right now. I'm going to hit view up in the top left hand side. And we start out with the first slide and long division. What does long division have to do with dad, mom, sister, brother, and who's this guy down at the bottom? Rover. I wonder. Let's find out. Each person represents a step in the long division process. Dad stands for divide. The M, mom, stands for multiply. S, or sister, stands for subtract. Brother is bring down. And we'll get into exactly what that means here in a second. And then Rover stands for one of two things. It stands for either repeat or remainder. So you need to remember these steps, and these steps always come in this order: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. If you know these, you're in good shape to divide. Now, here's the equation. 947 divided by 2 is how you read this. Now, keep in mind, the number under the sort of the roof is called the dividend. It's what you're dividing. The number to the right or outside the door is called the divisor. That's the 2. That's what you're dividing by. And then up on top is the answer, which we call the equation, or excuse me, the quotient, not the equation, the quotient. And it will go up on top. It will be our final answer. Okay? Let's just skip right through here. We start out with dad, and dad divides. And he divides 2 into the first number in the dividend. The first number in the dividend is the 9. And basically, dad is dividing the 9 into 2s. How many 2s are in 9? If you skip counting by 2s, it would be 4, right? Now, it'll actually be more than 4, but it'll be 4 with a little bit more. Okay? Think of how many 2s will go into 9, and you will get that number, and you'll write it right above the 9. 4 2s go into 9. So the 4 goes above, right above the 9. Okay? The next step, step 2, is in long division, is this. It's mom's step, and mom multiplies. Once you get to this point, you multiply the divisor, right here, the 2, times the first number in the quotient. That's the 4. 2 times 4 is what? Of course, it's 8. And you write your answer directly under the 9. See, we worked on top of the 9, and now we're below the 9. Okay, have you got that so far? Okay, the next step is sister. And sister always subtracts. Now you draw a line under the 8 because you're going to subtract, and you're going to subtract 9 minus 8. And 9 minus 8, with a subtraction sign put in there, equals 1, right? There's our 1. Now, we've divided, we have multiplied, and we have subtracted. What is the next step? Brother is bring down. Now, do you see the 4, the next number in the dividend? We're going to bring that down next to the 1 that we brought below. And this is brother's work. He'll do that right now. I'll move that 4 down next to the 1. And that creates a new number that we're going to divide. We're going to divide 14. Got it? Now, Rover comes in, and Rover basically repeats. I like to say repeat all over for Rover. And we're going to start all over again. Instead of dividing 2 into 9, we're going to divide 2 into 14. So, again, think, if you're going to chop 14 into 2s, how many 2s will you have? 14 divided by 2. And of course, when you do that, you will end up with what? You'll end up with what Dad gets here right now as he divides. I'm actually a little bit ahead. He gets 7. 14 divided by 2 is 7. Put the 7 as part of the quotient, and then that's dividing. And then, of course, Mom comes in and multiplies. You multiply the 7 that you placed on top times the divisor. And remember, your product for those two goes below the 14. And it just so happens that 7 times 2 is 14. All right, now, do you remember the next step? Who's this? Yeah, sister. Sister subtract, and this is an easy one. 14 minus 14 is 0. Now, we have 0 as our remainder on the bottom so far. Are we finished? No, we're not. We're never finished until we cannot bring down. And here comes brother, and brother can bring down. And do you see what he will bring down? He'll bring the 7 down. Now we go. Now, Rover comes in, and guess what? We do this all over again. Rover comes in and says repeat. And instead of dividing 2 into 9, instead of dividing 2 into 14, now we're going to divide 2 into 7. 2 into 7. If we chop 7 into 2s, how many 2s will we get? And of course, that will be Dad's job. He divides. And we find out that 2 into 7 is 3, right at the top. And now our quotient is 473 so far. And then Mom comes and multiplies what we just put up in the quotient. 3 times 2 is 6. And then, of course, sister subtracts. This is an easy one. 7 minus 6 is 1. Now, what does brother do? Brother looks up and he sees there's nothing to bring down. Absolutely nothing. If not, move to step 5. And step 5 is Rover. And instead of repeating like you have been doing, there's nothing to repeat because brother is finished. So this is where Rover becomes the remainder. And the remainder is what? It's 1. You have 1 left over for Rover. So you put the remainder, list the remainder at the top next to the quotient. So our final quotient is this: 473 with a remainder. That's what that R stands for. Remainder of 1. Remainder of 1. You can do this. You did it. You're so smart. You're awesome. Cool dude. Wolf. You can do this. This is not too hard for you. Good luck.